Jon Dennis, and role is Managing Director and company is Sureseal Windows Limited.
Very good. So, John, a place I always think is good to start. So rather than firing into what Business Pilot is looking at what life was like before that, because what I'd like to understand is what change as business brought about. So what were you doing before Business Pilot? What were your systems and so on?
We've been using Admin since 2006.
Okay.
To be honest, so
yeah. So okay, so you had a previous system, obviously. For those who don't know what Admin Base is, it's another system for installers. So I suppose in that case, why would you look at Business Pilot? What was wrong with your current way of doing things? What did you think at the time you could change or improve? Because obviously something motivated you to make a change.
We just felt the Business Pilot was more modern and would benefit us going forward, because we just felt Admin Base was getting a bit clunky, and you know, we were all very comfortable with Admin Base, and maybe it was time to, you know, put some life back into everybody, and you know, and it was a big jump. It was a big jump, to be honest with you, and it probably took us a good 9 months. To get into it, and we got into it early, but you know, to get everything right and as we wanted it, it probably took us about 9 months, because we were set in our ways as well, you know, on how we'd adapted Admin Base to run the business, to help us run the business, and so it was a big change.
And I never underestimate that. You know, I always say to people, look, when you bring in any new system, it doesn't matter what it is, actually. You bring any new system, what you're really bringing in is change. And change does take time. So, okay, I guess the main thing then is working out whether that change was worth it. So in other words, if you were to compare now to then, what would you say?
Worth it. Definitely worth it,
But what are the main differences?
As I say, the main thing I'm going to put my finger on is it's more modern. It's easier to use. And, you know, that they're the things really that have jumped off the page for us, isn't it? Is that now we're far more efficient, you know, reporting jobs to Fenza, you know, everything like that. The emails the customers get. So everything the customer gets from point of sale through to service calls at the end now, you know, the emails and how it's tracked is, we just think, far more modern and easier for us to use.
So the words, obviously, you're using: easier, more efficient, you know, they're probably the two. But also you spoke about the emails the customers get. I'm always interested in how installers can be more professional with their customers. We all know that the customer is expecting more now. They expect us to be at the same level as a John Lewis or somebody. And so how would you say it helps with that?
The emails that they get at the end, you know, we send them a glass of glazing condensation leaflet, we're sending them a maintenance leaflet, we're sending them, you know, their invoice, their guarantee attached, the details of their fence. It's all a click of a button. So it's just so much easier. From an admin point of view, it's very streamlined, and it makes us look on the ball. Do you know what I mean? And
we
are on the ball. Do you know what I mean?
But there's a difference between being on the ball and looking like you're on the ball. Sometimes, you know, I say this all the time. You might be getting everything exactly right, but if the customer doesn't know, they don't think you are, you know. So actually it is about what their perception of whether we're on the ball.
Of course.
Okay, so out of the different features, I mean, you've kind of mentioned a few things there in terms of efficiency and so on, but if I was to ask about specific features in Business Pilot, what would you say your favorite feature is, and why?
Well, my favorite feature now for much of last year was a burden for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't your fault. It was my fault because I wasn't up to speed with it. And I'm a figures man, and I run the business through figures, and I had my ways of doing that on admin base because I've been doing it 19 years on that system. So it was like clockwork for me. And for the majority of last year, I felt I did not have my figures correct. I didn't have my KPIs correct. It was difficult for me to run reps meetings and do the meetings that I've always done because I didn't have those figures correct. And it fried my brain, to be honest with you. But I arranged for Rhonda to come down and do some training with us after we went to the training session that you guys did up in Birmingham.
So I think you mean Rebecca. Obviously, Rhonda being admin base.
Oh, sorry, no, not Rhonda. Arwen, yeah.
Oh, Arwen came down. Oh, brilliant.
So the day after we'd been up to Birmingham to do the training with you, we arranged for Arwen to come down, and Arwen sorted my KPI problems out for me in like 25 seconds, and I was like, I can't believe that I've gone all year just pulling my hair out on this.
Yeah.
And she literally sorted, and then I created all my KPIs, all my reports, and I've got them all saved, and now the problem is gone. But it was on my brain all year, to be honest. But now it's easy, and it's so much easier than I ever than before to do it. And
well, that takes us down a bit of a side road from, if you like, the questions that I normally lay out, and that is about the training. It's on my mind because we're really stepping up the training department this year. And we've got this sort of mantra of the world's best training department is what we're doing. We want to say, okay, what does that look like? How do we create it? How do we best support everybody using the system? So yeah, your experiences then of training, because like you say, the Birmingham day last year, which is the group training, then having Arwen down. You've already kind of said it, but what's the difference to your business, and what would you say to business pilot users who maybe don't engage with training as much as they should?
Oh, you've got to go to the training. You've got to attend the training. We had, when we started, we had Rebecca down, and we had a day's training, I think, in a hotel down with us, and that was brilliant.
Yeah.
But you know what? There was so much to take in on that day for all the departments of the company. It was just so much to take. And then, you go back, and then it's trial and error, and, and then you learn, and then, oh, hang on, you pick this up, pick that up. But, just do as much training as you can, basically. We'll definitely be doing more training again going forward as well, because it definitely benefits us to do it,
I think so. And I'm a big advocate for it, because to me, everybody on Business Pilot gets every feature that Business Pilot's got, according to the license type and obviously the roles that you can set. You might not want every user getting every feature, but essentially when you're buying into the system, you're getting every feature. That's a lot of features. It's a lot of stuff. So you can't learn it in 1 day, 2 days. You couldn't learn it all in 4 days. You just got to continually, I always talk about almost peeling the onion, so just do it in layers. Learn the bit that you need, get comfortable, learn the next bit, learn the next bit. So it is ongoing, and the features keep coming, thick and fast as well. So of course, even if you learn everything today, you haven't learned everything tomorrow, because there'll be a new feature come out. So okay. What about the rest of the team? You said about that day where you had across the team. How have the team taken to Business Pilot?
It's definitely so much easier for all. Let's look at the installers. We used to print out the surveys and everything for them. They'd come in and collect that. They didn't know where they were going on the next job or whatever. Now they do. They just look at their app. There's the survey. Everything they need is on there. They can see where they're going for the next 7 days, which is what we've set it at for them to be able to see forward. And that's brilliant for them. It's the same with the service engineer. it's all from the app. The surveyors from the
Yeah.
app. But for admin point of view, it's just so much easier to operate as well. It's
Yeah. Yeah. And so you've given some specifics there with obviously the installers in the app. What about inside the office? It'd be really good if you've got specific situations where you say, look, we used to do this, but now we do that. Because, I'm hearing a lot of how much easier and how much more efficient. It'd be really good for people who are not used
it's
to
the
Business Pilot.
scanning. Everything is being scanned on, and if I get I'm murder. I can't help but look at on the weekends. If a service calls come in by email on the weekend,
Yeah.
I jump on it straight away. So the first thing I do is jump on, look at it. All the information is on there. Our contract is on there. Our survey is on there. All the orders and everything that's on there. The history of if there's any other service calls or whatever. You can just deal with things straight away. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
all the information is at your fingertips. You just got to access it and pull it up.
Perfect.
And that could be, for me, 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. If a service calls come in, I can't help it. I just jump on then and have a look. And
do you know what, though, John? I think there's two sides, because this technology and that could be emails or it could be Business Pilot. Technology enables to access work 24/7, and you could say, well, that's almost a bad thing, like we would say, you can access this sitting on the beach, in the Bahamas. And then somebody else would say, well, if you're sitting on the beach in the Bahamas, why would you want to? But actually, for some of us, that's what gives us peace of mind. Because if we weren't accessing the data, we'd be thinking about it anyway.
Yeah.
And actually, sometimes just having access, just to see it, actually allows us then to chill out again and and actually rest. Because if we couldn't see it, we wouldn't relax. So I do think that's a major benefit, is just being able to look at it, get your peace of mind again, and then go back about whatever you were doing. So we've obviously mentioned some of the team, Rebecca doing training when you did your onboard, Arwin coming down. What other involvement do you have with the team? I mean, like support and so on. And I'm just interested in your interactions then. I'm again keen that we are here to help installers, not just to build software. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, listen, anytime we need support, we just email and it's dealt with straight away, and from Matt, who we dealt with originally, to I can't remember the
Katie, I think you'll probably deal with on support, or
Yeah,
Kerry maybe. There's a few names that get thrown around, but yeah.
But no, listen, all aspects of it has been excellent for us, to be honest with you. And I know we found it tough at the beginning, but it was worth it all in the end. Do you know what I mean? I know it was a hard, getting the and we had to import our historical data and what have you, and that was, it's messy sometimes, and you've got to clean it up, and but once you've done it, haven't you? And it's the way to go.
It is, and I do find that sort of importing the historical stuff, it'd be perfect if everything just came across exactly as it was. But of course, you're moving to different systems, and it never does. So all we can do is help you in the best way possible, because it's always going to be a mission to move across data from any system to another system.
Of course.
And that's why I'm always keen, rather than sort of hide from it, I would actually be upfront and say to people, look, any change, whether that's the moving the data, whether it's learning a new way of doing things, it's going to take effort. It's not just going to be, easy, and you're not going to switch it over in a day. It's not an overnight switch. That's why it has to be worth it in the long run. And basically, the message that I'm hearing from you, and obviously correct me if I'm just seeing it through rose-colored glasses, but the message I'm hearing is, it took some effort. It did, but
it did.
It's absolutely worth it.
Definitely.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so a question I like to ask people who have been using it for a while is, imagine now you've got somebody, you're down the pub tonight, and there's somebody comes in, they've signed up to Business Pilot, so you're not trying to sell it to them. So they've signed up and they're saying, you guys are on Business Pilot. What would you give me as a piece of advice? So this is somebody who's just about to onboard. What would you say to them?
Continue the training from. I think maybe if we'd done that from the start, we only had Rebecca's training first of all, and then
Yeah,
it was a long time before we had any further training.
yeah,
I think looking back, maybe we should have done more training going forward as well. And
yeah,
definitely. But since
yeah,
the last two training sessions now that we've done, we're all streets ahead of where we were, and I think we
yeah,
should look at doing some more as well, just to continue that, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, absolutely. But get that training in. Okay, and then finally then, somebody who is looking around at another system. They might be on a system, or their system might be whiteboards and pieces of paper, and we do come across a lot of people like that as well. So what would you say to them?
Oh, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for them. This it's far easier for them because there's no
Yeah,
data to import
yeah,
or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, just crack on.
yeah,
It's so much easier than having a whiteboard. I used to before admin based. That's how
yeah,
I used to run things. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
but yeah, no, it's so much easier. It's a no-brainer, really. It's perfect for our industry and Fencer registered installers or
yeah.
Certus. I don't know whether it works with Certus, but
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it's a slightly different operation, but yeah, absolutely. But the one click, I mean, you've mentioned Fencer a few times, so I suppose we should explain because not everybody will know. But essentially, where you used to go onto the Fencer portal to register your installations, how do you do it now?
well, Richard does it. To be honest,
Yeah,
I don't do it, but I believe it's one click, I think, and bang, the
it
information
is.
goes to you. And
Yeah, it is. It's one click. You don't even go on to the portal anymore, because all the information's already in Business Pilot. So
yes, yeah,
why key it all back in again?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Less
so
duplication. And
so again, it doesn't matter what platform you want to use. It's there. Whether that might be Zero for your accounting or whatever. It's just the fact that it's there and it saves all that double keying.